seeing and listening to the Zello app and the things and the people that are calling out that need help, and you're hearing about the kids and women and people have been stranded for days. I mean, it just really tugs at you.
Just heard about rescue crews during Hurricane Harvey using Zello, an app that lets people turn their smartphones into virtual walkie-talkies. Such technology wasn't even around when a major hurricane last hit Florida.
But in the days ahead, some of these apps could literally save lives. CNET senior editor Dan Ackerman joins us to explain. Dan, talk to us about Zello to start with. How does that work?
That's become really popular over the last couple of weeks. It's a voice over IP app, but it feels a lot like those old push-to-talk phones people used to have, where you could get an instant connection to somebody. Because the setup is easy and the interface is easy and you get the direct voice communication. People found it very useful for those quick voice communications with other people.
Give us an idea of a few other apps that are really important at this time for people to have.
Obviously, weather apps are very important. The Weather Channel has a separate hurricane app that has a lot of really useful information. Besides weather alerts, which you can get a lot of places, it has a really detailed radar. And I like that their radar map goes into the future. You can play a little predictive video of where the storm is going to go.
Sorry, go ahead, Dan.
Yeah, then Weather Underground is another weather site, and they also have a hurricane app. They use a lot of crowdsourced data from people with weather stations at home, and that's really useful to get another data point, and their radar maps have a lot of levels of intricacy to them. You can add wind speed, you can add lightning, you can add a lot of different details that you want to see for where you are.
What is this thing you brought with you here, Dan?
This is something I've actually had since Hurricane Sandy here in New York. It's a radio. It's from Eaton, and it's solar powered. It's battery powered. You can use a hand crank if you have to, and it's got a powered USB port in the back, so you can charge your phone from it. And if you have no power, you crank it for like a minute. You get at least half an hour of radio use.
A lot of people are so concerned with keeping things charged, like their phones. You say keep a laptop fully charged.
Another lesson I learned here in New York during Hurricane Sandy was if you have especially an old laptop sitting around and the storm is coming, keep it plugged in, keep the battery charged, and then even if you never turn the laptop on, it's basically a gigantic battery pack that you can use to get several charges out of your phone or for several people's phones just by using the USB ports in it.
Getting good information in the middle of a storm like this can be very difficult. What's some of the best ways to do that?
FEMA has an app that has a lot of updates and it has a lot of tips and it has a lot of access to disaster preparedness sites, and it even gives you a way to apply for additional help later. The Red Cross has a lot of apps. They have a specific hurricane app that has a map of shelters, a real-time map that you can pinch to zoom in on.
It sounds like if people just get out there and start looking for some of these things, like the Red Cross app, that they can find more information that way. Dan Ackerman, thank you. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
And stay with CBS News throughout the weekend for extensive coverage of Hurricane Irma. We'll have special reports throughout the day on the network and on our streaming service, CBSN. Then tomorrow, we'll have a special edition of CBS This Morning with Charlie, Norah, and Gayle beginning at 7 Eastern, followed by Sunday Morning and Face the Nation.